Good morning. So, thing on my mind for the last couple days actually is karmic relationships. And I don't know if a lot of people know what that is because honestly, I didn't know what that was until probably about a year ago. But these relationships, they come into your life for a reason. And a lot of times if you stay in them, you don't learn the lesson that you're trying to learn to level up, then you're going to find that you live in a really hellacious, toxic world trying to make it work with this person. And, you can have, these can be anybody in your life, parents, teachers, bosses, significant others, even your children, sadly. But the point in these, like I said, is to teach you a lesson. But a lot of people don't learn the lesson. So you just find that a lot of people stay in unhappy situations. And it's kind of how my 16 years of marriage went. All those little red flags look more like a carnival than a warning. So when it comes down to it, I can't say I wish I would have noticed sooner, because honestly you have to walk through the darkness to get to the light and then understand what was going on in that situation to be able to come and talk about the darkness, right? Like, you can't tell me, if you've never been in an abusive relationship, what it's like to be in an abusive relationship. You can say from an outsider looking in, but you can never understand the true emotions, the chemical changes, the mind manipulation, all the work that has to be done to untangle the reality that you were in. And it's almost like Alice going down into Wonderland, right? I mean, you sit here and in a toxic world, it's way different, especially when it's a close-knit household and there's no one to reach out to, there's no one to call on. But these toxic households oftentimes are directly related to karmic relationships, which are people that you're not meant to be with forever, right? You're meant to have a momentary existence with them to be able to learn that lesson to level up. So if you keep saying, I'm going to put forth the effort, and you sacrifice yourself on the backside for love, and it's often toxic love. Toxic love is way different than genuine love, but most of us will convince ourselves we're in good relationships, and there's reasons for that. You don't want to look like a failure to your community. You don't want to admit defeat or say you made a bad choice. In a religious stance, till death do us part, you're supposed to have one partner. And actually the religious stance is what kept me in a toxic relationship for so long, until I finally had to say, okay, I have to choose me. And a lot of times these karmic relationships are here to push you to love you. I know that's strange, but when you can walk away from that situation, you're choosing you. Now, understandably, the longer you're in these relationships, you begin to create energetic ties. And that's because you've shared emotion, you've shared space, you've shared thoughts, you've exchanged energy. So as you exchange energy back and forth, you're creating an invisible line, right? And these energetic cords can be anywhere, on your heart, on your sacral chakra, on your crown chakra. It varies person to person. So if you find yourself, you've left a relationship, but you can't stop thinking about that person, a lot of times there's an energetic tie between you and them that you're going to have disconnected. And this is all spiritual work we're talking about. It's not like you're walking around with a rope. And anyone can see the fact that, oh, you're still tied to Jimbo over there, when in reality, they're off doing their thing and you're off trying to do yours. So you will have to seek help to have these energetic cords cut, removed, however you need to have it done. But I did, it was a karmic cord cutting, what's it called? It's not a ceremony. Excuse me. It was a meditation. That was like, so a karmic cord cutting meditation. So if you need help in that matter, there are practitioners who do it, or there are a lot of guided meditations, even on YouTube, that are free, that can help you break free from that person, that situation, so you can kind of find closure on the matter. Because when we look at the need for closure, a lot of people need to come back face to face. I'm sorry, okay, there's no need for it. You have to just forgive in your heart and understand that you can close that book yourself. And just because someone doesn't say, I accept your apology, doesn't mean you're not forgiven. Because the person that has to forgive you is yourself. When you can forgive yourself, you're actually lessening that energetic cord. When you can turn back to yourself and love yourself and do the work to heal, you're able to eliminate that energetic connection easier. Now, understandably, if you have one person that was in the relationship that is still emotionally invested, say you haven't been dating somebody for a year, 3 years, 10 years, and all of a sudden they start popping in your head and you're like, where did that come from? I wasn't even thinking about that person. Well, considering we have social media, maybe they saw your picture, maybe they, even in the community, saw you on the street, had old pictures in their phone, or just something that reminded them of you, and then they go back to that time. I remember when. So whenever they start thinking about you, and all of a sudden you're thinking about them, that's that energetic cord pulling on you. So those are ways to start knowing if someone has a tie to you. And these are soul ties. These are things that are created from past lives, from interaction now, from just various situations. And one of the easiest ways to create soul ties is to have intimate relationships. And I'm talking about, I'm not even sure if we can talk about this on YouTube, sexual relationships. So keep in mind, every person you come in contact with, you are taking a portion of their energy. You are giving them a portion of yours. So if you're dealing with somebody who has depression, STDs in the sense of sexually transmitted demon attachments, which create things that are not like the regular STDs that we're used to on a physical plane, right? When it comes to dealing with situations like that, it's visible. Your body lets you know you're uncomfortable. But when it comes to the spiritual aspect, a lot of times you don't even realize that you have this. But say that you were a person who was fine by yourself, and now all of a sudden you're really promiscuous. You want to go out. You want to find somebody to love and entertain you, right? So that's in the sense that there is some sort of attachment that could have been placed on you due to bouncing around, not knowing who you are allowing into your bed. So you have to be really careful when it comes to who you're entertaining. Because like I said, you never know what you're entertaining. So as I just stated, in a physical world, you can see things. But in a spiritual aspect, it's more of a think wisely. Use that intuition that's down here in your gut. They call that your gut feeling, right? So to stop creating karmic ties, because believe me, we all have past soul ties. We all have karmic ties. So if you want to heal further in life, you've got to start doing this portion of the work. And like I said, you can find a practitioner. Make sure you are choosing somebody who has your highest interest in their mind, not somebody who's just there to make profit, because there are a lot of people that sadly are phony and they want to profit off of people waking up, right? We call this the new age belief of spirituality, when in essence, spirituality has always been here. It's been tucked away. So the other option, remember, is guided meditations. So you can help yourself to get rid of these karmic ties so that you can start realigning your chakras, getting more in balance, grounding yourself, and then focusing on your dreams, focusing on manifesting that greater life for yourself. Because as long as you have a karmic tie attached to you, this person now has the ability to be like an energetic football player. They have the ability to block you, throw curveballs at you, try to stop you. And the best thing for anybody is awareness. So when you can become aware of the fact that, oh, I'm thinking about somebody who I haven't thought about, or something's holding me up, I don't understand what's going on, maybe consider, take some time. How did that relationship go? What did you lose or gain out of the relationship? Did it create obstacles for you on a mental level, on an emotional level? Are you still dealing with triggers from that relationship? Because for years, I can't say years, but it's been almost 3 years since I left my ex. So about, I would say 2.5 years, honestly. It's just now getting to where I'm not triggered anymore, to where I, in my heart, had to go, I understand what he was going through. He had a rough life. No excuses, but I can understand, sympathize, have compassion, and say, I wish you well. And on the back note of that, within the first month of him and I not being together, I started working really hard to remove those energetic attachments, because honestly, he wasn't mentally stable after first year or two of being with him. Because, like I said, being in the service, he had a different concept of how life should be handled, relationship-wise, any scale, actually. But looking back now, I see that that was a karmic. That was somebody that was there in the moment to help me grow as a person. Too bad I'm stubborn, and it took me a long time to accept the fact that that was a toxic relationship. It was not meant to last. But had I not been in that relationship, I wouldn't have the 2 beautiful children I have today. I wouldn't have the courage to stand up for myself. I wouldn't have the knowledge that I have. I wouldn't have had the time to tap into my creativity or find my strengths. There's a lot that I learned from that relationship that I'm not upset about. Hold on, please. Sorry, I'm not exactly sure where I left off. That's kind of what happens with my job. Going in a flow here, and then someone walks in and I talk to them for like 5 minutes, and we're over here talking about mothers and how they don't get paid and the lack of appreciation and how nobody wants to apply for that job. But anyways, not about karmic ties. So hopefully I covered quite a bit regarding karmic ties, But one thing I thought to remind you is the need to cleanse your space. So, and cleanse your energy. That helps to kind of brush off old, outdated energy or things that are trying to cling to you. So instead of talking about that and making this video longer, I'll make another video about how you can cleanse your space, how you can cleanse yourself, how you can realign your chakras, get in balance, get grounded, and get back in your head to own it rather than that storm I was talking about last night. So for now, I will let you go and talk to you later, and everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.